Good morning. This is 16th of March. I seem to be having some camera problems on the OBS. I'll try to resolve them as we go, but not to lose time. I have entered a long position ahead of the opening of the markets. As the 8 o'clock level is somewhere around here. I'm thinking as for the initial trade, we're looking at the 8 o'clock level more or less, and the VWAP both are significantly higher than in the current level. So I have entered along in here after the mini lows from around 6 o'clock have been swiped, and we'll see if it works. We have entered into the open, so this is not ideal. Should have been closed before that, but we are where we are, so we'll need to make the best of it and manage the risk. This is the first 5-minute open, 5-minute opening bar, and we'll see how it plays out. No major news, so I gather from now it seems that the Strait of Hormuz is still being blocked on one hand side. On the other hand side, of course, there are efforts to ensure that we have some sort of a resolution to this. So I'm positioning myself for a new day, as if nothing happened. The emissions trade is still barely hanging, but under the opening price, the support for now has held. Our VIX trade from previous week is very slightly in profit, practically break even. So it seems as of now I'm positioned long and optimistic. Apparently I'm bullish. I don't know about that. I still feel that the markets are facing some major turmoil. The buy limit position which you see here is something that I opened in anticipation of a gap closure and then a rebound. And that might just happen. But we still have 1.5 minutes for the break of the opening range. And it seems like we're continuing the bad luck from previous days. We will now break. We will now this should be 50 pips. Yeah, we will now hit the stop loss on the original position. At which point I expect we'll head lower, but I need the opening range to be established and not get ahead of myself. Let me just see if just checking if I'm streaming. I am. Okay. Yeah, the Commerzbank is edging higher because of the buy offer from UniCredit. That is I think a third attempt now from UniCredit to buy Commerzbank. There we are. Hello. Okay. So the opening range is established. As it were, the sell would actually occur with a stop loss from my current buy. That's convenient. And a 60 pip would actually be somewhere around the high. The danger here is, of course, that the stop loss would occur right around the VWAP, which may offer resistance, but we'll see as well. The volume for the opening bar is within norm, nothing spectacular. And we are 3 minutes into the candle. A 3 minute fake candle would suggest long. So yeah, so that means that's short, right? Um, hopefully not. VIX continues to slide. Oil is edging higher. And I guess as the blockade goes on, you would see that price go up, especially that the reserves are there. And once the reserves run out, there's no real major way to sustain the current level of consumption. So you would have to see some sort of a spike. I think we have now entered a long, yes. So we have opened a second position on the buy trade above the opening of the above the high of the opening bar. It's going, but our emissions rate still nothing. Okay, so we're stable. Just checking how the European stocks are doing. Major 50 with the Europe, more or less the same. Seems like we're in a prolonged range in here. And more or less the same for DAX. If we look at the 15-minute chart, that clears out a bit, especially there's Heikenhashi. There seems to be a pattern where early in the morning, before the opening and the first half of the session seems to be rising and falling again. Same here. So on that, we may expect some sort of a punch up. I will remove this sell limit order from here, but I would be interested in selling somewhere around here, assuming that the range continues, right? Of course, if we see some sort of a major turmoil somewhere around this level and a distribution phase, then could be a good opportunity to enter as well. But for now, I move it away. We have failed to break out of the opening range in the second candle for now. And we were just ticks away from the stop loss. I was actually quite certain we would punch that on this here opening bar. But on the other hand, we're not out of the woods yet. We're seeing some violent moves in the opening range. We were ahead, and it looks like it's going to break up higher. Now there's a heavy pullback, and it might turn into an engulfing candle. If it does, there will be a high probability that it's going to actually drop significantly lower, which would be the first failed entry today. We have to observe that we have two stop loss set, and it would be a double loss, which is dangerous. But nothing we can do about it now. I still think that the 8 o'clock level should be hit. Doesn't always happen, of course, but like here it didn't happen. There we are. Okay. So we're out and we'll be going short. Oh, this is a bad start of the week. Again. Oh, two risk ratios lost. So it's about over 100 points. So we're dropping lower. My original buy limit is somewhere here. Given that I have gone short, I think I'm canceling this buy limit over here. This was for the morning range, but then again, a gap closure is something that is I price in quite highly. Let's see what the take profit is for that one. It's at least 100 points, so that's here. Quite low in range. Let's move the buy limit over here so we're consistent. Of course, if we're that low, one could expect that we would swipe these lows here and then move up. And this is something that I'll have to take a look at, see how dynamically this falls. Okay, so we see a decisive comeback to the opening range again. After this candle here with a long wick pointing downwards, mm, there will be an indication of a reversal. Let's see if it holds. We are below the 2 minute threshold, so I no longer consider this a super fake. A candle might hold like this until the end. If it does, we're headed higher, in which case I would have to again go long. And it's super annoying when it happens like this. Unfortunately, it has been happening for the past days. Um, to the point where I might consider delaying my entries in the coming days just to limit the losses. Obviously, the risk there is that I would lose the trending day that starts from the get-go. That was a pretty good day, but it broke down in the middle, and we didn't capitalize on it. We were stopped out too soon, so it's really difficult now to observe this opening range break. As you see here, a lot of back and forth, people trying to position themselves a similar way. Um, okay, so the candle did drop off, and now it looks like we're more headed down, unless of course we stumble around here and chop around. In this case, we would then be um, most likely higher as well. Going back to the discussion about the 8 o'clock range, in here, for the previous day, you can see 8 o'clock in here, and it only came back to it at the end of the day. The previous day, 8 o'clock was here, and then it went up and down, so sort of came back, but then later on in the day it didn't. So we can see that this is slowly falling apart, but what you can see is these were violent moves, right? So not like your average day. Um, 8 o'clock in here is somewhere here, but it's only the difficult one, right? Because that's the 8 o'clock. The question is whether you count this level, but in any case, we didn't come back to the level. So in the previous days, it seems like the price in the morning market seems to be more decisive. This is 8 o'clock on the 9th of March. And this one, all despite the spike, 140 pips, did come back right after the open to that level. And then here, similar situation on reversed. 8 o'clock is here. And the market goes up and down, but comes back to this level several times, even after the open. So that was pivoted, but also the VWAP that helped. 8 o'clock in here again, spike and then return, down, return, spike down, and return again. So the price has moved several times within that 8 o'clock. This here looks bad, but if you look at this here, this is the closure. So the open is here, and the price goes down and then comes back, goes up and comes back again. Also close to the view up. So the question now is whether it's just the 8 o'clock, of course, or the view up. But both seem to have some significance. We have formed a mini double bottom. That's dangerous. Seems to be a lot of demand in here. Let's see if this candle holds like this. If it does, we're in trouble. Hmm. Yeah, 30 seconds left for this candle. I'm telling you, this isn't looking good at all. Open the new candle and we're going slightly higher. Yeah. So the longer we spend moving around here, the price just bounces around. The higher the chances seem to be that we will bounce back up. And mind you, this is our 8 o'clock here. So we will be coming back to that level. But I don't want to break my system. I need to stay in the strategy. The overruling rule, so the highest priority rule is that we keep this open range break in case it just drops down. And overall, I am bearish, so it's amazing how the markets seem to just brush off the entire situation with the oil. Whether it's the renewables, which are playing a very interesting part in the energy mix, or the fact that we have US that has capacity to produce oil, which is different than the oil from the Strait, of course, or from the Gulf. Um, so we cannot just say they would cover the demand, but definitely they have some oil. You will, of course, need to adjust your refineries, accept it still. And the Russia is there, right? So, I mean, I think a lot of people will be willing to sacrifice Ukraine just to get Russian oil now. And that gives you a sort of a way out. You don't need to make a deal with Iran. You don't need to um, end the war. You might just buy Russian oil. So the 3-minute breakout Ambex has failed. It was a fake. We're going below 2 minutes, so we'll see if this now drops lower. But we had a lot of indecision here and a lot of back and forth. Um, It's interesting that even when the DAX falls, the VIX doesn't seem to react very much, and the oil it's just climbing higher. So we are now breaking the lows, previous lows. Um, let's see what happens here. Again, the bounce. I will be adding to the position here. I was supposed to be added here on the touch of the opening range, but and the wall seems to be expanding. Ah, there you go. A lot of wicks to the upside as well right now. So I need to wait. We are quite low in the range. Might get a pop back up um, somewhere to this level here. Our stop loss has been placed conveniently above this candle high. It would be a good place to sweep for liquidity, especially that's a VWAP. That would be over half of the opening range break, so difficult to imagine. We could come back from that if we get there, right? So far we're towards the opening, towards the range low. In fact, we have left the opening range and we're now in this chop zone here. But we're not going down. We're not headed lower. And that, of course, is a sign that the demand here is still fighting, and we might actually go beyond higher. I am now short on my two positions, both full risk. Our emissions trade is lapsing again. And lack of balance in here is so worrying. Hmm. I mean, all signs fundamentally would point to a market going down, but the market refuses to go down. Oh, it's a slow move. We're creeping lower, but I don't know. If we get somewhere around here, I would be looking to secure this with a break-even position, buy on the retracement, but it doesn't look like we're going down there. And this is a sliding sort of a flag, as I call it. Looks to me like a bear flag, but it's not like a typical bear flag because bear flag would be on the up market going downwards, right? Like a correction. Here it has already been sliding down, then it's just fighting around here. Obviously, there's a big liquidity zone in here. Um, Overall, the liquidity is within norm, so if we get a move, it could be sustained. But it is dropping, and we are not going anywhere. So potentially a range rebound. We have just extended the previous bar's high of price. Let's see what happens here. So far, it seems that this attempt was rejected. We have again broken lows. Of the previous count was just barely. There seems to be some momentum getting into the market. Um, I'm wondering, looking at this, where I should enter another short and secure the previous one with a break-even trade. Let's see how far this pulls back. So we're heading towards the gap closure. And if I were a reasonable man, I would close a position somewhere around here, but we need at least 100 pips of profit. I would say 150 normally, but previous days have scarred me. Let's see if 150 will, oh man, 150 will go right below these. I might actually be tempted to go there. Mm. Let's see. I'll stick to the original idea of 100 pips. Will this candle maintain or will it pop higher? We are just 16 pips in profit on the add-on trade. Coming up on the 10 o'clock. It's been 3/4 of an hour now. Um, and we're slowly edging lower. The volume is rather low. It doesn't give me hopes of a sustained move. Mm. Sluggish, sluggish. Not much going on. I will come back if something happens. Okay, so we're having a retracement now, going above the the second add-on, touching on the first position. This is where we should be adding right now. In fact, this is your point where you need to consider there is a short or long. The candle, I'll be adding here a short position, but I will be getting out of this one the moment we drop. Um, a reason for it is that this is a double risk here, and this is going to be a retracement. So if we hold this channel here, we should be falling down. If not, then I have extended to 3 times risk, and this is not good. So I want to get out of this position as soon as possible to avoid further risk. We'll see if we can get this position swap. Almost. Come on, come on, come on. Almost. Ah, man. This is dangerous. Hmm. I will close this now. Looks like it's a reversal. I don't want to have a three units this on my hands. I actually closed the original position. No. Okay. Mm. We're approaching the stop loss for the add-on. Yeah, I'll be closing the stream soon. It's 7 o'clock. Again, another unsuccessful morning. The breakout range is causing losses. Not great. It looks like a drop, but remember this is a fake zone. So let's go below 2 minutes to see. Yeah, there we go. Didn't even close the gap. Oh, this is difficult to believe. But yeah, might just be that. I have a buy set in case this goes sour and this goes higher, and I will be looking to come back to this if something happens. Um, if we break above this range here and we demonstrate some sort of a convincing move, then the pullback I will be adding to this trade. Or if we break even lower, then of course we'll be we'll be looking to add the trade. If we start in our system, we would still be in the position for the second trade because they wouldn't have hit our stop loss yet. But we have entered here, so I wanted to minimize the risk. There was too much, 3 open positions, so I had to take about a third of a normal risk so that we can get a wipeout altogether. And yeah, we'll see where it go. Ending for now. Thank you.